or the train, I mean.
Dungannon station was down where the bus station is now.
We walked down there.
Yeah.
And you see, Dungannon was the main, like, you just loved Dungannon. And whenever you were in Dungannon on a Saturday night, you couldn't have got moving in it.
Well,
very, very late.
Yeah,
and all the different buses was good. Yeah. Ones coming out of Wherries was all those buses. The square was full of buses.
That's right, and full of people.
And people.
I remember that myself.
See, they didn't close, even there, the big shops didn't close to 9 o'clock. Some of them stayed, well, some maybe they closed at 8, but like they kept open on Saturday night because if you were going into shop, anybody going into shop would have went on the 7:30 bus from Killala. You couldn't, there was only standing room on the buses leaving Killala for Dungannon. And now you can hardly get it. There's not the same, there's a better bus for Cookstown than there is for Killala. There's an hour every hour for Cookstown.
Sometimes you think that we're progressing, but actually back then, as you said,
there was no cars. There was only I remember whenever there was only a Nelson Cardle and Mick Kenny and John Donaghy. They were the 3 taxis. There was no way. The rest was but that's why there was more buses then. You see, because for the Wherries and for the pictures.
Right, well, going back slightly to you went out Monday, Wednesday and Friday and Saturday.
That was a change, the film changed.
I know it was a change in the pictures. Well, I know that, but I suppose we should say that all right. It changed every 2 days. But then did you go out on a Tuesday and a Thursday night as well?
I don't know, well you made it, you see, whenever the St. Patrick's Hall, when they started the dances in it, on a Wednesday night, there was the Grafton used to come and play in St. Patrick's Hall. And a Tuesday night, well, I suppose if there was always somewhere to go, like but some nights you didn't go anywhere, you just stayed in the house. Because it was different. Then everybody gathered into the house then. That's right. You know, all the ones that we run about with, and then they all could come in, they would come to our house and we would go to their house, you know. That's the way it was, you see.
That's right, all that has changed really.
But you see, that's gone now.
Certainly is. Even where I live in the Glen there, I mean, when I moved in there in 77, people were in and out of everybody's houses. But now, you know, you go in at night and you never see a phone.
You wouldn't see a thing up here during the day.
I noticed that yesterday morning when I was trying to find your
house.
Now
Pat's back. Pat's back on probably the more, you know, it wasn't a sound. See, that house was born. I hope I'm not on the
No, don't worry, we'll take that out.
Because see, that was born, but Patsy's back there, he's getting his house all fixed up, but it's a good job. It wasn't a good he done an awful lot till that house.
Pat who?
I don't know why he's Pat Stokes or Pat McDonough, to be quite honest, Mickey. I don't know. Yeah. For one, but like that, as I say, they don't bother. They don't give me any trouble, and live and let live.
Yeah. And how long are you up here now?
I'm up here. I was 17 years up here, and I can't believe it.
17
years in November. I come up the week after Halloween.
These are right. Because whenever I was trying to find you, I said to somebody, Nancy,
you done the chimney, remember the way you got a terrible smoke thing?
No, did I?
You done it surely, Mickey. I had an awful problem with the smoke whenever I come up here, and wouldn't do the executive, wouldn't do it. They put in an old glass thing and it was able to choke you. But then I've got they put the heat, the oil in there, and I got it in. But I had to put it in myself before that. You couldn't have stayed in the house. It was black. It was smoke. Then they put the oil in up above because there's something up here, whatever it is, whatever way the winds, the houses, the architect was brought out. I think that's what happened, whatever way they'd have been better doing them in terraces maybe. The houses.
But anyway, let's get back to...
Oh, right. Sorry, Mickey.
Oh, you're okay. This is what we're doing. We're just chatting about this and that. This is the way it goes.
Well, you know if I'm saying the wrong thing, you tell me.
You're not saying the wrong thing. We'll be taking bits out of this.
That's all right.
So back then, the Killala South then was a thriving town as well.
You see, on Christmas Eve night, that town didn't close shop, because the way it was then, you see, even if Christmas Eve fell on a Saturday, most of the people had to work. You know, all those, and then the wages didn't come in then. The shops were all open. Campbell's, every shop in the town was open to maybe 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning. Everybody was in the town on Christmas Eve night, shopping. Because, and I can remember then the shops give discount in those days, and everybody got their discount on Christmas Eve, and everyone went to town to get even the toys and all. If there was money for toys, there would have been wouldn't have been got onto Christmas Eve night.
That's, I remember it myself. Well, the shops back then, Sullivan's was always there anyway.
Sullivan's was always there, and Maggie Campbell's. Maggie was there, and Maggie was quite good. You could, anything you wanted, you could always went down, and
there was Maggie down,
money or no money.
Was that down beside Midlynch's?
Down beside Midlynch's.
They were mixed up between the two Campbells.
And the top Campbell, Well, then that's another thing too. So they were thriving too in the town.
Right.
Sure, on a Friday night, waiting, everybody was waiting on the Observer. Stand up at High Campbell's, waiting on the Observer from all over, all over the town. They come out of the second house of the pictures and straight up to Campbell's for the Observer.
Right.
Like, you couldn't have got moving in Carlisle. It was night time.
That's right.
You see, what happened, I think, in the town was whenever the people that owned the shops moved out to houses, and like whenever they were living in the town, I think too that it was better for the town than living in the town. But then you see, the times changed then.
Times changed.
But
times changed for everything, because I mean, even in my time, I remember at night everybody would walk into the town and just sort of hang about, like.
Yeah, but they stood in the satellite. They stood there at the satellite.
That's the satellite corner.
And whenever the holiday pay all come in, everybody was that. There was no such a thing as going to foreign holidays then, you know. There was one train left every year for Bundoran.
Yes.
And that train was packed.
Right.
Dungannon and Carlisle and people was all. That's all gone.
It's all gone, sure.
And I can remember in Newtown, Kelly, you could have heard that train, and there was a first train left. If it was brought from Belfast. It was a kind of a tickle, bringing bread and stuff like that there probably. About nearly 4 o'clock in the morning, you could have heard that in Newton Kelly, the train, you know,
over Metal Bridge.
They would be tooting blowing the horn whenever they were coming near the station probably. Right. But I can hear that as playing.
Well, how long did you work in the factory now?
I worked in Carlisle factory from I was 14 till I was 18. And then I went to the dainty fitting to Cookstown. Because as I say, it would happen really, I suppose I never would have. Only I took rheumatic fever, and then when I was in Newton Kelly, and then Dr. O'Kane said that was out. See, the weaving was a different compared to Cookstown, you know, it was all stitching in Cookstown. But it was a good factory too. It was very good to work in and good conditions.
An awful lot moved to
there was good conditions in it. But Carlisle, I'll tell you what, there was one thing about Carlisle factory. Everybody would have got a job in it.
Back in them days, as you said, whenever people left,
like he employed most of the town, and then like. You wouldn't have got, you couldn't have, there was no such a thing, but Cookstown, you see, paid the bus fare.